Russia and EU are important economic partners. We have a strong cultural relationship. We travel to each other. Though I think there are many things to be done at the political level, we do not have any institutional framework for fruitful cooperation, which we can live with. Actually, standard non-preferential agreement which we have, it's normal agreement. Mm-hmm. That means most favored nation status without exceptions. So we can operate in that framework. We do agree on many international issues. The problem that many issues are politicized when they should not be. And it's also a relationship which is declining in relevance. For the European Union, actually, the internal problems are extremely more important than external, and among the external problems, probably that of EU-US common economic space is something which is widely discussed and which is on the agenda. For Russia, also, Europe is not now the center of interest. Russia is also more inward-looking, and it's also global-looking. Russia is not just European; it's Eurasian and Euro-Pacific power. So it develops closer relations with Asia-Pacific countries, with countries of BRICS, which are on every continent. We have quite a big agenda in Russia-U.S. relationship. So we are less and less on each other's radar screen, and I think it's subjective. So actually, I'm not pessimistic, I'm not optimistic about the relationship. I think it goes on, and nothing dramatic is happening. We're trading, we are investing in each other, and the value gap, which is so widely described, I don't know that it exists in practice, because I don't think it is really there, but it's still in the minds of the people and the politicians. And it will be there to stay, since I don't think that Russia has a different image in the EU countries as 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. It's more or less the same. It's unchanged.
During the first part of this conference, the deficit of trust has been identified as deficit of trust between Russia and the European Union has been identified as one of the key problems. Would you personally say that you agree with this? And if yes, would it take years or even decades to solve this problem?
Well, yeah, I think there is a deficit of trust, and it's again centuries long. We have some reasons to distrust sub-European countries after Napoleon invasion, after the Crimean War, after World War I, World War II, and so on and so forth. You name it. And of course, the European Union has a long tradition of distrust to Russia. So it's here, and but many countries have distrust, but still they cooperate with each other. And as I've said, it's mostly cultural, and it's just because the Europeans want Russians to be like them, and they're different. But we're not going to change immediately, since we are Orthodox and we have different belief systems, and most of the Russians do not consider themselves other than Russians.
Mm-hmm. Maybe one question. What would be your message to the European Union about how the European Union should view Russia as Russia perceives it?
Actually, now the problem, I think, is that at least some officials in the European Union, or most of the officials in the European Union, would like to deal with Russia, with the changed Russia, which would be Russia more like, I don't know, Poland or Hungary, that is being a junior partners to the European Union and NATO, and not asking questions and not having a position of its own on major issues. But Russia will be Russia, and so the only suggestion for me is to deal with Russia as it is, not with Russia you want to see.